Okay, so at this point, we've already talked about the offer, getting people attracted to that offer by doing outreach on cold calling, social media DMs, but how do we actually nurture them to become deals? So let's talk about conversion. So this is an actual statistic. 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact. And chances are, if you're a good salesperson, you've heard that before. It's absolutely true. This is actually a real statistic from the National Sales Executive Association. But the point to this, though, is that there's really 4 phases of the entire funnel, just to really simplify it, right? So the first step is identifying and developing a prospect list of people who are interested in your service. So we talked about that, right, in the previous lesson. So now we're really just talking about like the bird's eye view of things. So again, developing a list of people who are interested, and you can manage those people in a pipeline inside of High Level. Number 2, we filter those appointments by asking hard questions and sending appointment reminders. So I'm going to get into this more, but main things is just asking hard questions, like qualifying questions, like do they have the money to do something like this? And then also asking questions like, hey, is there any reason why you wouldn't be able to make it at that time, right? Just making sure they show up to the call. Number 3, learning to close and nurture prospects until you get an answer. Fortune is in the follow-up. I'll talk about some basic sales training here in a bit. And then lastly, number 4, actually securing those deals, which we'll get into in the next lessons. But using your network of clients and prospects to find others who need your services. So with that said, we actually do a 2-call close system. So let me shrink myself a little bit so you can see everything. But we actually do a 2-call close system in B.O.S.S. And most agencies that are doing really well, they actually do the same thing. So starting from the left side, once you finally get those prospects who are interested in your offer, then you're going to actually send them information, right, through a video sales letter or, some kind of email with more information about what you do. Then once you send them that video sales letter or information about what you do, you call them back the next day, right? So on the call number 1, we're essentially calling them back, asking them, hey, did you see the email I sent you? Would love to get you on a call. And then sometimes we'll ask that qualifying questions at that point. And then if they're qualified and actually interested in seeing what you have to offer, then we invite them to a sales call. So let's get into it. Starting from the top. Now, this could be a 3-call close system, right? If you're calling, but technically, like, you can get interested leads from so many different places like we mentioned. So in this case, this is an example of someone that we talked to who's in the solar space. We reached out to this person on Instagram and we scheduled a sales call. So you can see some of the conversation here, starting with, hi, is this the right place to ask a question? This is pretty generic, but this was a brand new VA I just hired. So typically I wouldn't open the conversation like this, but either way, he responds, good morning, what's your question? And then we say, I saw that installing solar panels can help me save on bills, right? He said, yes, it can. Going solar can offset your electricity bill, especially after 14th. Then my VA says, that's perfect. I'm in the real estate space and I work with homeowners in Kenya Lake who want solar panels, but I have nobody to refer them to. I was looking around for a referral partner. Maybe we can help each other. So look at this. If you notice, he's actually positioning, or this agency owner is positioning their service as a referral network. So you guys have actually maybe even seen me do this in the mortgage space, but rather than saying, hey, we're an agency, hey, we generate leads, we're basically positioning our service as a referral network. We have a network of referrals that we get inquiries from, and now we just need to refer them to somebody. So yeah, you can see right here his response is pretty, positive. He's like, yeah, sure, I do most of the work there. And then you can see we actually qualify them on the initial outreach, which I recommend everybody do, but we just basically say, this is what we do, and we refer them to you for $60 each. We give them that dollar price just to, again, test their qualifications. Like if they're not worried about that, then it's probably something to look forward to. And you can see he actually responds. Sounds good. Can we talk on the phone later today, you and I? Of course, from there, we open up, send them some information, and we treat this as a call number 1. So we're still going to send them information like to a video sales letter, stuff like that, but we're calling him, explaining again exactly what we do over the phone, but now, he's matching the messages to a voice, to an actual human. And so we're just kind of building trust with them a little bit, explaining again exactly what we do, just like this, and then we're inviting them to a sales call, because you don't want to give them too much information in the beginning. You just want to give them enough info to be like, what is this? So that we can take that emotion, that energy, and transfer it to a call to action, like scheduling an appointment or, getting an email to receive some information. So again, that's the interested conversation. Then we bring them to call number 1. This is a 3 to 5 minute phone conversation. So this is literally the 3 lines. This is the entire conversation script right here. So you already have a list of, let's say, 5 people, right, who are interested. You call them back. Hey, what's up? It's Dan. How are you? And they'll be like, hey, what's up, Dan? Or they'll say something like, Dan, who's this? And then you could say something like, yeah, I was the guy that was texting you or calling you yesterday. I just wanted to check in. Did you see the email that I sent you yet? Doesn't matter what they say at this point, yes or no. Perfect. That's actually what I was calling. I wanted to schedule 15 minutes with you on Zoom so I can show you how it all works, what time works best. And at that point, most of the time, actually no, half the time, some people are interested, half of them are not. And so we get those people to, schedule a time. And then at that point, once we have them interested, once we get them to commit to a time, then we're going to now, push a little bit further to see what other kind of information we can gather before the call. So we ask questions like, what are your current lead sources? How many deals a month are you doing right now? Okay, and what's your capacity to do more? How many more could you be doing? And again, we just ask these questions to know. Like if I'm talking to somebody in, I don't know, the mortgage space, if they're doing at least 3 deals per month, I know they're getting at least $10,000 in commission per month, if not more. So that's somebody who can afford the service that I'm going to sell. So yeah, that's pretty much how call number 1 goes, just qualifying them, gauging their interest rather, seeing if it's worth getting on a call or not.